Okay, khair. So just to conclude, inshallah, in our society, up until the day of Qiyamah, his teachings will be followed, inshallah, through the efforts that he made. From a very young age, he was memorizing Quran. He then started struggling with his memory, and he couldn't understand why. He goes to his ustad, and he tells his ustad, I'm struggling with my memory. So now imagine, your student comes to you, and he tells you, I'm struggling a bit, you're going to be sympathetic with him, empathetic, and you're going to give him some tips and so on and so forth. And his ustaz immediately tells him, stop sinning. Now Imam Shafi was a good person, and his ustaz tells him, stop sinning. So now he's confused. So he goes back and he goes to ponder as to, is there anything that he did? And whilst he was sitting on his porch, while he's sitting on the stoop, he was memorizing Quran. He looked up, he saw a lady, she had a anklet. He was mesmerized with the anklet for a little while, and he then struggled, and he remembered this. So he writes a poem, and he says, Shakawtu ila waqi'in su'a hifdi. I complained to my ustad waqi' su'a hifdi. And the person that is to come, the transformation that's going to take place when you stop certain things, and I speak to myself first, is going to be great, So this is very important, and this is the concept of tazkiyah. We discussed that the pillars of deen are three. You have the Islam, which is your practice. It is 5 pillars. It's got to do with practice, saying on your tongue your shahada, performing the salah, it's action, giving the zakah is action, fasting the month of Ramadan is action, hajj is action. Then you have the iman, it's the belief on the inside. But anyone can do actions, but if it doesn't have ihsan, that you're doing it on a higher level, then it might be just up, down, touch the ground and mean absolutely nothing. Sometimes you go into the salah, you come at the salah, you don't even know that you made salah. Because in the salah I was thinking about what food am I going to eat, and the pot is still on the plate, and so on and so forth. So there's a concept connected to our pillars that's more than just action. We are not robots. We are not robots. We are a being that has a soul, and that soul can reach great heights of spirituality. But we have to maintain this particular concept. Then Islam, the concept of Islam was developed further. For us to be able to make salah, you need to find out how to do it. So there's a way that you take wudu, there's a way that you make salah, and that turned into fiqh. There's an encyclopedia of fiqh as to how to do the actions. The concept of iman was then developed into the subject of tawheed and the concept of ihsan. Getting to that point where you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as if you see Him, and if you do not see Him, then know that He sees you, is the process of tazkiyah, cleansing the heart, consistently working on the heart. This is a discussion that we had previously. What I want to do now is I want to take you through the 6 pillars of iman, but I want to show you how it's connected. So the 6 pillars of iman is there, but I want to show you a connection between each of it. How the one follows the other, and it assists you with the main goal and the main concept. So the first concept of iman is to believe in Allah. To believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then number 2, the angels, the books, the messengers, the last day, and all good, and whatever tests, all good and comes from Allah. There's something missing there. All good and all difficulties, all tests, all bad, comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everyone knows this. I want to show you a connection between these particular things that have been made compulsory upon us. Look, notice the first objective. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Very famous verse. The objective and the purpose of us being here is to recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We know that. We will never ever truly be able to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as He deserves to be worshipped. It's impossible. It's impossible. Rasulullah gave his entire life with this deen of Islam for us to be here today. And why I say it's impossible, there's a beautiful example of a person who worshipped Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for 500 years. Have you heard this hadith already? There's a man that worshipped Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nuh lived for more than 1,000 years. So this person is on the island. He worships Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for 500 years. And when it's his time before, one of his fervent du'as that he made, he said, Ya Allah, when I leave this world, I want to leave in sujood. Ya Allah, I just want to feel happy of my 500 years. Can you just add it? So he said it again. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, okay, take his 500 years of ibadah and put it on a scale. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has it put on a scale. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to the malaika, take one of the favors that I gave him, his eyesight, and put it on the scale. And the one favor that Allah gave him, the eyesight, outweighed the 500 years of ibadah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as a means of just making him reflect, Allah says, take him to Jahannam. And he says, Ya Allah, I submit, I go to Jannah through your mercy. My 500 years of ibadah was nothing. Just my eyesight outweighed that, subhanallah. So the concept and the objective of us being here is to recognize the favors of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and in return turn to Him. That is the objective of us being here. But I want to show you the process, and I'll go through it quickly as our time is already up. The malaika, it's compulsory upon me and you to believe in the malaika. How does this help us? How does it help me and you that I know that there's malaika? What's the benefit of believing in malaika? It's compulsory upon us. If you denounce any of the tenets of your faith, it takes you out of the fold. So I have to believe in the malaika, but what's the benefit of it? What's the benefit of me believing in the malaika? Anybody? They came with a message to the Prophet. Okay, how does that assist me? There are two malaikas that write your deeds down. Now again, look at the process. I want us to think, for example, of two detectives following you. So you're moving around and you see, hey, there's two guys. They look a bit, and they're following you and they're following and they're following and they continue following you. Are you going to do anything in such a way that's going to cause them to write something against you that's going to allow them to convict you? Are you going to do that? Definitely not. Definitely not. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to us in the Holy Quran, إِذْ يَتَلَقَّى الْمُتَلَقِّيَانِ عَنِ الْيَمِينِ وَعَنِ الشِّمَالِ قَعِيدٌ مَا يَلْفِظُ مِنْ قَوْلٍ إِلَّا لَدَيْهِ رَقِيبٌ عَتِيدٌ. That there's nothing that you do except there are two angels sitting and they're documenting your every move and every action, everything that you do. When you say Subhanallah, when I said now Subhanallah, my right hand side, the malaika just wrote. Now did you see I got a bit heavier? The malaika are writing all the time, every single moment. So what's our objective? To believe in Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says there are malaika that are watching you, and be conscious of this reality so that it can assist you when you want to do something wrong, documented, and it might be against you. So the malaika there. Next, books. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it compulsory for books. Why? The Quran is the ultimate guide for us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ يَهْدِي لِلَّتِي هِيَ أَقْوَمُ وَيُبَشِّرَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ الَّذِينَ يَعْمَلُونَ الصَّالِحَاتِ أَنَّ لَهُمْ أَجْرًا كَبِيرًا. Indeed, this Quran reads to that which is most upright. So you going into a particular examination and you have the answers here, take the answers. You must come out with flying colors. It's an open book test. Or you requested to make a particular thing and they give you the manual. You're going to know how to do it because you have the instructions. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has facilitated our worshipping Him by giving us the perfect manual, the Holy Quran. And that's why we're here, to equip ourselves to understand this perfect manual. The messengers, not only does Allah send us the perfect manual, but He sends you a guide as well. So you have the answers and you have a tutor helping you, telling you, okay, that is the right answer. If you're unsure about it, that's the right answer, and that's the right answer, and that's the right answer. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَقَدْ كَانَ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. Indeed, in the Messenger of Allah is the perfect example for you. لِمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو اللَّهِ, for the one who wishes to subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ, and is concerned about the year after. وَذَكَرَ اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا, and he remembers Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala abundantly. So number one, our objective is, what's our objective? First objective? Worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The malaika they placed to assist us in doing that what you're supposed to do. A manual was given this day. And that is something that we need to work towards. And then the last thing, all good and bad or tests comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how does this assist us? How does it assist us? Knowing this. Know that you're currently in an examination room. And the teacher, when he teaches you and he tests you and he examines you, he wants to see if you're able to pass the test. Isn't it so? He wants to, okay, I gave you a certain amount of work. Let's see if you understand the work so that you may able to pass. If you go through, you want to go from primary school to high school, you need to pass grade 7. If you want to go from high school to university, you need to pass with an exemption and a certain amount of grades. If you want to be qualified in the thing that you have done, so you want to be a doctor, you can't study 3 years and say I'm a doctor. Can you do that? No. You're going to go into that guy's surgery and allow him to operate on you? No. Never. So likewise, a person must know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put certain things there for you to show that I'm worthy of my Jannah. And something beautiful. How is a diamond formed? Do you know how a diamond formed? How is diamonds formed? How is a diamond formed? Sorry? From what? From coal. From coal. A diamond is formed from coal. Coal, pitch black coal, under extreme pressure. And